Welcome to Geektionary. My name's Corey Hales, and this is the geekiest podcast you'll probably ever hear, where I will try to teach you, along with my friends, about the nerdier things in life. Let's talk about it. Anyways, I started recording.
Oh, sweet.
So, I always like to start kind of abruptly.
Yeah, it's all good.
And so I'm with Scott on the final episode. I say
Season finale.
Yes, the season finale. It's going to be followed by a couple smaller episodes. Maybe not smaller, but fewer, because I got to come up with new topics and get new guests and stuff like that. And anyways.
Are you going in alphabetical order again?
Yes, and I already I have a few ideas already, but not... 26 topics is a fair amount, especially when you can only do one per letter.
Yeah.
When you can do like Z and X.
Yeah. I feel for you, my friend.
Yeah. So Scott is a friend of mine from college, and last time we saw each other was...
I think it was when my wife did B for you, and she
Oh.
was your guest for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay, so that was at least 24 weeks ago, because there's been gaps in between. So
That was
Jesus.
a very long time ago, yeah.
Well, not a full year, but getting close to it. That sucks.
It's been a long time, my friend.
Yeah.
I've been really busy with work. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're a busy man, and don't feel bad. You're advancing in life. I'm still where I was when I was doing B.
Whatever.
So yeah, we are doing Z for zombies.
Or Z if you're American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't speak properly. Even though in the alphabet song Z always does.
It rhymes.
It ends it better.
It flows.
I think that maybe that's why.
I hate ending it with Z. It makes me feel stupid.
Yeah, Y and Z. It just seems. Ugh. You can't say Z happily.
No, it's like the downer of the song.
Yeah, it ends on a very, very depressing,
Very somber note.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get down to business. As we already heard, we were talking about different diseases and stuff like Kuru, the parasite. There's a fungus that infects ant brains and stuff like that.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which is like human mad cow.
Yep.
Yep.
The thing about that Kuru, though, is that it has only been in this one cannibal tribe, which it's very similar to Creutzfeldt-Jacob's disease.
Okay.
Different enough, like it does have like disorientation, dementia, rage, and stuff like that.
Does it make you want to eat people? Because that's the one thing Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease doesn't do.
Yeah, I don't think Kuru does that.
It basically makes you a zombie without wanting to eat someone.
Yeah, but with the Kuru, it's already infecting someone who is a cannibal. And it is from eating the brain.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. But I wanted to start this out with talking about what a zombie is. So a zombie is a hypothetical being indistinguishable from a normal human but lacks conscious experience, sentience, or qualia, which is individual instances of subjective conscious experience. This is the philosophical definition.
Nice.
This is an actual philosophical argument thing. So, like, when a pea zombie, for example, is poked with a sharp object, it won't feel pain, though it acts like it does.
Okay.
Which, do you know what solipsism is?
No.
In philosophy, solipsism is the idea that since, that I think, therefore I am, therefore you are the only definitively alive person. Everyone else is just going through programming, essentially.
Okay.
Meaning that you're the only thing that's real.
Right.
So everyone else are essentially philosophical zombies.
Cool.
I wanted to start this out abruptly and just start talking about that and acting as if that was the whole thing. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that wouldn't be funny in any way.
We're not funny people.
No.
We just sit around and look sad and think about the word Z.
Yeah. Apparently we both put a lot of thought into that one letter.
Yeah.
But no, as everybody knows, a zombie is an animated corpse. It eats flesh or brains. And the best modern interpretation that people know is the George Romero.
The vampire
Night
zombie.
of the Living. The vampire zombie.
Yeah. Well, essentially, Romero took the idea of what a zombie was, which was just a walking person under a spell, basically like the Haitian zombie.
Yeah.
And he mixed them with a vampire, which is like once you're bitten, you're infected, right?
Okay.
My wife's really enjoying herself out there.
She's playing Little Big Planet?
Little Big Planet 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are no zombies in Little Big Planet 2, as far as I know.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah, like most people that know about zombies know about there's the runners or the walkers, basically.
Yeah.
It's
The walkers, to me, are classic.
Yeah, I refer to them
classics.
as the Romero zombies.
Yes. And then
The runners are...
the later Romero zombies when he got lazy.
Yeah, when he's just like, ah!
Yeah. Yeah. The Resident Evil 4 Romero zombies.
Yeah, have you ever heard of any reason as to why specifically they would eat flesh or brains?
No.
I only know of one movie that ever tried to explain why.
Okay.
It was Return of the Living Dead. Did
Right.
you ever see that? Mm-hmm. Had the famous zombie Tarman, who, if you're listening to this, go on Google image search and look up Tarman. You'll probably hate me afterwards. But he is fucking scary.
Yes, he is.
I have terrified so many people that were unprepared for it with him. Oh, God.
Going with a strong stomach, don't eat lunch.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
There's a reason he's called Tarman, and it'll become immediately apparent. So yeah, Return of the Living Dead, they interview one of the zombies because they can talk. Well, interview in that they strap it down.
Yeah, and
threaten it with spiky poles.
Yeah, they your brains it.
The what?
Your brains.
Yeah, I got that in here.
Nice.
We'll get to it eventually.
Okay,
good. They ask it why they want to eat brains, and they say that they hurt because they're decaying. They can feel their bodies falling apart, and by eating the brain, probably the part that releases like endorphins and stuff, that makes the pain stop.
Right.
Which I think is a brilliant fucking idea.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Gives them a reason.
Yeah, that is the reason of every zombie movie I've seen so far as I can tell, because most of the time it's just like, well, the dead are walking.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, usually they bring it down to primal instincts, right? They're like the original zombie wasn't just trying to eat brains, it just wanted flesh, right? So primal instincts is you just want to fill your stomach, you just want to feed.
Yeah, and in Night of the Living Dead, I think in the remake, the one from 1980, you see a zombie trying to grab mice. So it's not strictly people.
Right.
But there's people everywhere.
There's 6 billion people, and if you're a zombie, you're right in the middle of them usually.
Yeah, it's the easiest food source that's right friggin' there.
Exactly.
But yeah, you mentioned the Haiti voodoo stuff.
Yeah.
The first real idea, the first, I guess, common thing of a zombie was the book The Serpent and the Rainbow, and the following book, Passage of Darkness, The Ethnobiology of the Haitian Zombie, both of which by Wade Davis. Who did some studies in Haiti about the whole zombie phenomenon. I don't know if they ever disproved it, because what I was reading said it kept on using the words claimed and alleged and stuff like that. But yeah, he said that a person can be turned into a zombie with 2 powders introduced into the bloodstream. The first one, you're married to a French girl. It's a coup de poudre? Just made up all my French.
Yeah. That looks about right.
Coup de poudre, or powder strike, a powerful, frequently fatal neurotoxin it's the pufferfish poison.
Yeah, the blowfish stuff.
Yeah. And the second one was just a dissociative drug cocktail. And the powders induced, allegedly, a death-like state, causing the victim to be at the will of the voodoo sorcerer, which
is awesome.
They need to bring that kind of voodoo back. That kind of zombie back, I mean.
Yeah.
We need that old school voodoo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the first film that had zombies in it was White Zombie. Yeah, and that's like 1930 something.
And that was just basically hypnotized.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he gave her a potion or something. And yeah, his whole like cane sugar plantation was run by zombies.
Yeah.
And that had Bela Lugosi, and it was amazing.
Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
I have not. I don't know why. Like, I love zombies much.
You need to see this film.
Just for classic sake. It's genuinely good.
It's quite, as well, it's Bela Lugosi, of course.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi.
He doesn't do bad films.
Yeah, he definitely didn't do bad films. Oh, Plan 9. That had zombies.
Yes, it did.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Tor Johnson was the biggest, dumbest looking zombie ever. So the pop culture has just, I'd say in the last 10, maybe 15 years, they've really become, it's 2013, I'd say about like 15-ish years. they've really kind of become, or at least they were, like the monster du jour, you know?
Yes.
Because vampires were around and people were just like, well, what else is undead?
Yeah.
Zombies. Werewolves should have made a comeback too. And the only werewolves that have are bad.
Well, the only werewolves that have are friends with vampires that sparkle in the day.
Yeah.
So.
They're not friends. They've made a truce.
Oh, I'm sorry. They've signed a pact.
Yeah.
You know, they've gone to tribal council.
They've also, and freaking Underworld.
That was okay.
I didn't like it. Everyone loves it. And the thing is, they're very watchable movies.
The first one was.
Yeah. My cousin took me to the most recent one, which did have a giant fucking werewolf.
Cool.
By eating other werewolves, I think he became a more powerful werewolf and like literally got gigantic.
That makes no sense.
No.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it was stupid, but really like you get to a point where you're just like, okay, none of what I'm seeing makes any sense. None of this is genuinely good. I'm gonna shut my brain off. And then it became really entertaining.
Nice.
The earliest modern interpretation, like pre George Romero, but a Romero type, would have been from 1921, H.P. Lovecraft's Herbert West Reanimator, which was made into a movie as well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It's very, you should see it. It's very strange.
Yeah?
Like the zombies, they're the invincible type of zombie, like Return of the Living Dead.
Right.
You cut off their head, the head's still alive, the body's still alive.
Yeah.
And did you ever see...
Like, you have to destroy the brain or... nothing.
Even then, like,
Really?
yeah, you need to do the acid thing, essentially. Burn them up.
Yeah.
I don't think Reanimator ended on a happy note because it's Lovecraft, but
Right.
there's been a lot of sequels to the movie.
Okay.
But, there was... did you ever see Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, also known as Brain Dead?
It sounds very familiar, so probably.
A guy's mother gets bitten by a Sumatran rat monkey.
Okay.
And she gets the curse of the rat monkey, turning her into a zombie who he starts having to take care of. It's really, lots of gore, lots of stupid comedy and stuff, but a genuinely good movie.
Sounds very familiar.
It has the kung fu fighting priest. I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's like the Lovecraft type of zombie from Reanimator, at least in the movie.
Okay.
Like they could use their intestines to grab people and pull them close.
That's sweet.
That's weird. So got through all the kind of hard information, and the rest is pretty much just pop culture. So that's
good.
Yeah, I figured just hammer through
the
actual stuff of any content.
Right.
and
then get to the terrifying stuff, like what could be real and...
Yeah, like I just have pop culture stuff, and I'm glad that you did more of the realistic things.
Yeah.
Like I have 7 cue cards. I normally end up with about 3.
Yeah, I think I took like 3 pages of notes before we started here. Half of it's pop culture. My first is just I was reading Cracked, and I was like, yes, science.
Yeah, like, but the thing is, I got to 7. I'm just like, there's so much more information, and I'm not even with the pop culture stuff. I'm not going to get half of what is there out there.
That's why
I keep burping because I'm drinking beer. I'm just going to say it.
That's why next season Zed will also be zombies.
Yeah, Zed will always be zombies. Yeah, the thing is I got to 7 cue cards, and I'm just like, I want to get into the science, but I feel like we're not going to get there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I started with the science and worked my way out.
Yeah. Which is probably... I don't know if that's I think we both took legitimate things.
Yes.
I had more history stuff.
History works.
History, science, and pop culture.
Yeah, the only history I did was the first, zombie appearance in film.
1968 was Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Followed by... this is the Romero zombie movies. Followed by Dawn of the Dead in 1978.
Yep.
So Night of the Living Dead, people get trapped in a house. Defend themselves, fight zombies, destroy brains.
Yep.
The makeup effect guy was Tom Savini, who later did the remake in 1980, which I think is better.
Yeah.
It had Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Todd. Awesome guy. Anyway. I make it sound like he's a good friend. Dawn of the Dead. Everyone's seen the remake by now, which is fucking amazing.
In the mall?
Yeah. The original, also in a mall, had some more military guys. I have the ultimate set. Has 3 versions of the movie.
Nice. North
American, European directors.
So what's the big difference between North American and European?
I don't really remember. I think the European was more like social commentary stuff, and more like it had scenes where they were discussing. It's like just keep coming back to the mall. It's just, yeah, and then the director's version, which was essentially uncut, is over 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
I love that movie. I could not finish it.
No.
I was just like, this is boring. This is really, really dull. But yeah, and it's, people trapped in a mall.
Yeah.
I think it's just 3 people. Yeah, biker gang tries to get in, ruins everything.
Oh, that's always the way it goes.
Fucking biker gangs, one of which played by Tom Savini.
Nice. Yeah, anytime you're trapped somewhere and you decide, hey, I'll let this other group of people in, shit is going to go down.
Yeah, you gotta be like Herschel in the second season of Walking Dead.
Yes.
You gotta be wary. It's
Yeah.
like, you people can stay until you're here, then you're leaving.
Yeah, but you're sleeping outside my farmhouse. Because...
That's such a small thing.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And then don't look in the barn.
Yeah, just don't look in the barn. And someone did, and they're just like, we need to take over Herschel's shit because we know better than Herschel.
And they did.
They did. Yeah, they did. I was gonna try to... I really liked Herschel.
Yeah.
He's still
alive.
I make it sound like, no, he's dead in my heart. when he left the farm, he left my heart.
His character did change quite a bit.
Yeah, he's kind of become the Dale. If you read the comics.
Yeah.
Like, Dale in the comics only somewhat recently died.
I don't think I'm that
Spoiler.
far.
I just realized after saying it, oh shit.
You just broke my heart. Damn!
He dies like a fucking champ, though.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it's pretty great.
I think I only have the first 8 trades or something, so I'm a ways back.
Oh, man. I think they just released 17, 16, and 15. I think 15 and 17 are the ones with the 2 most tragic and shocking moments that I've seen in a while in that series. Like, I don't even want to hint at those at all, because...
Yeah. I'll get there.
Like, so if it was 15, at the very end of 15, something horrifying happens. Most of 16 is about dealing with that.
Nice.
And it has a shocking but positive conclusion. And then the 17th involves the death of a character I thought would never die. Yeah. But it's fucking tragic. I can't even think about it.
I may have to borrow trades 9 to 17.
9 through 17. Fucking stack. So back to the Romero thing. The next one was Day of the Dead, 1985. That was the military base one, which had some genuinely freaky moments.
Yes, there were a lot of frightening scenes in that film.
Yeah, with the dream sequence with the arms coming through the walls. That's a classic in horror movies now. Just the opening too, where they helicopter into a city. And just the guy yelling hello and just echoing in these empty streets, which they used in I think the first real Demon Days by Gorillaz.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they sampled some of the audio for one of the songs. And it's just as haunting.
Yeah.
It's freaking scary. Everyone's favorite. This is... Okay, so... Romero took about 20 years off of making movies of any kind, I think. Because after 85, the next one that I'm aware of, I'm pretty sure was Land of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
Zombies
awful.
can learn, and they just want to be left alone.
They just want to be your friend.
They like fireworks and melee weapons eventually.
I like how we got Southern.
I don't know why that happened. Yeah, that movie, I didn't hate it as much as other people, but it was not good. It did not stand up. And then it just got worse with Diary of the Dead.
Oh my god, that was awful. Awful.
But was so much better than the one after it. Diary of the Dead was the whole Handycam mockumentary thing was becoming huge. And so this is from the perspective of a bunch of film students doing a film project when the zombie apocalypse happens, and then they run around and shit. And I didn't mind it.
Oh, he did a couple movies. He did Creepshow.
Oh, did you
Monkey Shines.
Okay. Other amazing titles.
The Dark Half, Bruiser.
Oh, The Dark Half. That was a Stephen King novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that either.
Romero and Stephen King actually did. I think they did a number of TV shows together as well.
Oh, maybe.
But then there was Survival of the Dead. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Okay. At one point in Diary of the Dead, because this has a direct sequel, unlike some of the others. Okay. At one point in Diary of the Dead, a military jeep pulls over the Winnebago that has them all in it, takes all their shit, leaves them alone. This follows the soldiers as they try to get to a boat to get to an island, which is supposed to be free of the infection or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Right.
They get there, and there's two warring clans. The zombie infection is there. There's one clan that wants to destroy the zombies, and another one that thinks that this will pass and they'll get better, like Herschel.
Right.
And so...
There'll be a cure.
Want to know a key point of the film?
Yes.
A zombie that is the twin of a lady, and this zombie rides a horse.
What?
That's all it does. Doesn't eat the horse, doesn't eat people, just rides around on a horse. And that is a key plot point, and I don't even remember anything else of the movie because it was so boring.
Does it solve crime?
No, that'd be amazing. I'd watch the shit out of that show. That'd be like The Night Stalker. Did you ever hear that?
No.
There's this old show where a vampire was a detective.
Sweet.
I know. Which, that's so cool. But, yeah, mentioned Peter. There's a cool Italian movie, which is in English, called Della Morte dell'Amore, also known as Cemetery Man.
Okay.
And it's also really weird, kind of like with the Dead Alive Peter Jackson thing, but not so gory.
Right.
It's about a cemetery caretaker who searches for love while nightly defending the town from zombies.
Sweet.
It's very strange. And it has such a bizarre ending because it's also really philosophical because it's Italian.
Oh, yeah.
And did you ever see Zombie? Like the Italian movie called Zombie? It was also called Zombie 2.
No, I haven't seen it. I heard it was supposed to be like a direct sequel of Romero's.
Yeah. It had the zombie fighting a shark.
Nice.
Yeah, that's there's a band in Vancouver, I think, called Shark vs. Zombie.
Sweet.
And there's one scene I remember watching it, and I didn't particularly care for it because I've never at that point I wasn't huge into gore, and this was super realistic gore compared to what I'd seen before.
Right.
There's one point where the zombies seem to be very, very whimsical in this. Like, they randomly show up in places that there aren't any zombies. Like, one will just be there.
Nice.
Fully decayed, ratted up suit.
Like they just wandered in.
Yeah, there's a cemetery. There's one grave in that building. And, like, at one point, it tries breaking into this woman's room and snaps part of the door, and there's this chunk of wood sticking forward. Zombie grabs her head and pulls her face onto this bike with the splinter going straight into the girl's eye and piercing her brain. And then the zombie wanders away. Nothing is ever said of that thing again. People refer to it as a classic. I refer to it, from what I remember, as being just bizarre. It is so weird. The Resident Evil movies.
The first one was good.
First one was alright, yeah.
And then it went
went
downhill
batshit.
really fast.
Really, and then the thing is, I was wondering, are they really zombies? Because the most recent ones I'd seen, they look like zombies, but they have the weird, like, flower petal mouth thing going on.
What I think they're doing in the film is they're going the way of the game. So there's two different strands of the virus as far as I can remember. There's the T virus, which infected Raccoon City. Yeah. And then there's a separate virus which makes them intelligent. And, like, those are the zombies that you see in Resident Evil 4, right?
Yeah, those are the Las Plagas.
Yes.
The plague. Yeah, there's T virus, G virus, both of which do basically the same thing. And then Las Plagas, which...
Yes.
The thing is that it's never mentioned in the movie. It's just all of a sudden they can burrow and do this crazy flower mouth.
Well...
It doesn't... It's
what
Resident
do you
Evil.
expect?
Yeah, it's Resident Evil.
It's a modern day, huge budget B movie.
Oh, Jesus, is it ever. Kind of like Hansel and Gretel, which recently came out.
Which looks great.
But the thing is, I've heard it's the perfect platonic B movie, which I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean fucking platonic?
Platonic.
Yeah, that's not
like,
that's...
There's no love story, because it's a brother and a sister kicking ass and taking names. Like,
but,
which side?
I also heard, like, it's exactly what you want and what you expect. Two people going around fighting witches.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I want from
I
a
heard
movie.
that they really troll Twilight by having a troll named Edward, who is very similar to Edward from Twilight, which made me super happy. This is the most literal trolling ever.
Nice.
Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, whether you like zombies or not, should love this movie, and most people do.
Yes.
It was a rom-com, a romantic zombie comedy, because it's based around Sean's relationship with the girl whose name I don't remember. I'm gonna say Kate.
I don't think so.
I don't think it was. Yeah, and it's also about the friendship between him and Nick Frost.
Nick Frost.
Ed.
Yeah.
Arid.
He was quite warm.
He was arid and
You've been playing too much Plague Inc.
Yeah.
It's arid climate.
Oh god.
Your fungus won't grow there.
That game gets you really have to think, and I appreciate Plague Inc. for that. But at the same time, it makes me realize, I'm not smart in any way.
I'll give you the secret for all of your listeners. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're going to devolve every single time it gets anything. Okay, and then you just let it spread.
To wild card it up, basically.
Well, you let it spread until it gives you the warning. That there's no more people to infect, and then you have enough DNA points where you fucking murder everybody.
That's smart. I like that.
Yes.
But the same,
It's basically cheating, but that's how I beat fungus, so it can go to hell.
Maybe that's only like a funk. Does it work with the other ones so far?
Yes, that's how I did bacteria, too.
Okay. My whole strategy in terms of fighting games, strategy games, virus games is usually a strategy of brute force.
Yes.
Which never works.
It works on virus.
Yeah, because
it spreads so fast.
It's the easiest one.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's the same thing with Risk. Well, with Risk, my strategy is also just follow every truce and make people feel bad when they break it.
Yeah.
It's brute force and guilt. Okay, have you ever seen any Asian zombie movies? Like China, Japan, not Korea. I don't think Korea's made a zombie movie. Probably
I've seen like Japanese like horror movies, but nothing with zombies. Like the first thing that popped into my mind was Tokyo Gore Police, which has nothing to do with zombies.
Yeah, Japan and China have very, very it's very unique. Well, it's very different type of horror than what North America has. They don't do zombie movies well.
I bet.
Yeah, the one I saw fairly recently was called Biozombie.
Okay.
It was the shittiest ripoff of Dawn of the Dead that I've ever seen.
Nice.
It was offensively bad. It was so boring and nonsensical. It was just really, really, really frustrating. There's one which I tried watching and I think I fell asleep and then proclaimed it boring, even though I hadn't actually watched it. It's called Versus, and tell me how this doesn't sound like a good idea.
Versus is an awesome movie. I own Versus.
Zombies versus the Yakuza?
It's not zombies.
This is zombies and Versus.
Oh.
What's the Versus you're thinking?
I have a different Versus then.
What's your Versus?
I don't know. I own it somewhere over there.
Oh, we'll look at it later and not tell the listener anything about it. This will remain unresolved. And this one was fucking batshit. It was called Stacy. Which was when, for some reason, teenage girls between the ages of 15 and 17 will just suddenly become zombies. And there are some really, really brilliant parts of it, but the movie, I think it's trying too hard to be interesting.
Oh, yeah?
There's the Romero cleanup crew, who if you spot a zombie, a Stacy, you have to call them up, they come by, they take care of it, put them away, and blah, 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 blah. One of their weapons of choice is the Ashley Williams chainsaw.
Nice.
From Evil Dead, technically not zombies, we were discussing earlier.
Yes, we were.
We'll
Demonic possession.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, we got to it. Good.
we'll get to it more. It's my favorite movie, so we'll talk about it eventually.
I love that. And so but which sounds cool, right?
Yes.
But it's so bizarre, and there's this weird politics thing, and some scientists, and this 3-girl crew who are older than the ages, except they decide to be freelance Stacy killers, which sounds cool, but it doesn't ever really come to fruition.
Kind of sounds like a good social commentary, though. Like, girls reach a certain age, same with guys, and then you're like,
they turn into monsters.
A monster / you're a zombie, right? You know, you're on your computer, you're checking your Facebook.
Oh, gee. Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you thinking.
Boom.
Okay, see, here are some movies that aren't technically zombies. 28 Days Later, lots of people put that into the same category, but it is similar. I'm not going to say it's not.
They run.
Yeah.
It's through blood. They don't want flesh. They're not zombies.
No. Well, you can have running zombies, as we saw from Dawn of the Dead.
I guess.
Yeah. If you allow zombies can run, the thing is that it still comes down to, are they or are they not still alive? And the thing is, the 28 Days Later things are still alive. And they starve to death, which doesn't happen with even the infection type of zombie.
Right.
Quarantine, more demonic possession.
Yeah, great movie.
I really liked Quarantine. Did
Yeah.
you see any of the original Rec?
Rec?
The Spanish one?
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen Rec 2.
Rec 2 is pretty good. A SWAT team goes in,
Nice.
as well as some teenagers, all at the same time.
Okay.
So they both go in, and they come into each other, and then they realize that, oh, geez, this is happening, and then they all have to deal with it, and none of it turns out well.
Yeah.
As happens in
Yeah.
any horror movie. That's not giving away anything.
If anybody hasn't seen them, watch Rec first, and then watch Quarantine, because Rec is far superior.
I saw Quarantine first, and I really liked it.
I enjoyed it, but not nearly as much as Rec. I saw Rec
Rec
first.
feels, I guess, grittier, and I think that
Yes.
makes it feel more scary and
Yes.
more interesting. The most recent Rec 3, was a real different from the others. So you know how they were the first person perspective with the video cameras and stuff. This starts out that way, then turns into a more traditional movie.
Oh, okay.
A husband and wife are having their marriage, and then the infection releases, and then it's them just trying to find each other because they get separated. The husband escapes into a church, and he puts on like St. George's armor, and he has this mace and stuff, and
Nice.
the bride gets this big ass chainsaw at one point, and lots of people hate that movie because of they compare it to the other two.
Right.
If you view it as a standalone, it's still pretty good.
Okay.
If you compare it to the other two, it's pretty fucking terrible. And it ends in the usual quarantine wreck kind of way, which,
Right.
if you haven't seen them, doesn't give away anything.
No.
But did you ever see Quarantine 2 though, the American sequel to the American remake?
No. Does that same act? No, she. Yeah, no.
No. She's very dead.
Yeah.
It takes place on a plane and then an abandoned airport.
That sounds awful.
It was not good. It starts out really great. You're like, I know this actor. I couldn't tell you his name for a second, but
Is it Gary Busey?
No. Gary Busey can't be controlled. He'd be the best demon though.
Yes, he would.
Because I think if somebody ever cast him in that role, he'd be too dangerous. He'd lose control way too easy. Someone was debating about whether Zombieland and Left 4 Dead is, but that's just the infection type of zombie.
Yeah.
They can essentially take wounds that would kill a person and still move.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in both of them, there is a clown zombie, which is even more terrifying.
Oh, the worst
than
thing
the
ever.
Regular zombie.
Getting to the end of this, I'm just going to go through this quick so we can get to the science.
Cool.
Because that science is great.
Science is great.
In comics, there's The Walking Dead, of course. The Black Lanterns, that just happened through DC. Well, sort of just happened. It happened in the past.
Okay.
Which were a bunch of dead heroes and villains were given black power rings, like the Green Lantern's ring, and became zombie Green Lanterns, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
And, of course, Marvel Zombies, which is an alternate reality where zombie infection infects, I think, Spider-Man, and then all these others.
Bunch.
Yeah, it destroys that entire universe.
Yes.
And they end up eating Galactus.
Ashley Williams somehow.
Yeah, him and the
shows up.
Punisher work together
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Some games, some of the more popular zombie games, Resident Evil, of course, Dead Rising,
Yep.
House of the Dead,
Yes.
Call of Duty's Zombie Mode,
Yep.
which I don't understand why so many people are making it seem like it's one of the greatest and most revolutionary zombie game ever.
It's not.
It's not. It's okay.
It's fun.
Oh yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not. Barely has a story. It's not really a full game.
There is no story. It's just survive.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you want. That's what I'm really looking for. What is it? DayZ? When it becomes a standalone game, because
that looks
just it started as a mod, and like apparently
For Arma.
yeah Arma 2
Arma 2, yeah.
and like people are just like loving this game. I haven't had a chance to try it
Have
yet.
you seen any videos?
Yes.
Have you heard about how I think the
People are
average lifespan for a person in that game is less than 6 minutes?
Yes.
Because not just because of the zombies,
Because people are assholes.
Yeah, they
That's-
form bandit groups.
Yeah.
And I hate that. To me, I both love and hate that because, like, to me it seems not fair, but at the same time it seems extremely realistic.
Yes.
And life isn't fair. So,
That's why there's a respawn in this game. There's
Yeah.
a respawn in real life.
Exactly. There is one weird thing: zombies can run unless they get inside of a house.
Oh yeah.
Then they start walking.
Oh, that's cool.
This was a little known game that I got and I really loved it, except it was way too short. It was called Stubbs the Zombie.
Okay.
You play as a zombie named Stubbs, who you get to infect people. You get zombie powers. You can use your hand to possess people. You can. It's really interesting. Way too short. Had its problems, but it also had a lot of indie bands doing covers of like old 50s and 60s music because it's very like that retro futuristic, lots of wings and neon and
cool.
Oh, it was pretty sweet. Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh, Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
that was my introduction to zombies.
And Dead Island just to get it done. But Zombies Ate My Neighbors was such. It is like if you like horror movies, if you like monster movies specifically, you need to play this game. Even if you've played it before, you need to be playing it now.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
It's so hard.
I just started playing it again. I have a Super Nintendo emulator for my tablet, and that was, I think it was the second game I downloaded.
Yeah.
After Final Fantasy II, because
a friend of mine has a Super Nintendo and has Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and when I found that out, we killed the day just. By
I bet.
It. Yeah, and he knows like where all the secrets are, the best ways to do this and that, and I didn't know any of that because I played it when I was, I think, 7.
Yeah, I usually get to like level 3 and then die.
I did fall back into the whole thing. Okay, what items do the most damage to what enemies? Like you use the freeze pops on the blob.
Yeah.
You use fire. I think on not fire, not on the Chucky dolls.
Those things are terrifying.
If you light them on fire, then they become so much worse. Yeah, and silverware on the werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I. Getting used to the buttons again and to the tiny controller compared to an Xbox thing, I remember just accidentally blowing through like a Holy Cross and all this other shit. Music. Zombies Have Affected music with obviously Thriller.
Yes.
Amazing video. Vincent Price does audio in that too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And Jonathan Colton's R.E. Your Brains, which I fucking still love.
It's amazing.
It's an office worker who's become a zombie trying to convince another office worker who has not become a zombie to just, accept it and be eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a parody of another song that I can't remember. I know I've heard that tune before.
Okay.
I want to say it's probably something. I don't know.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah. Books. There's one which you'd think would be terrible called Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the title.
That's
really good.
Oh.
Except for the ending. Like the whole novel's written in the style of memos and emails and like Twitter updates and stuff like that, so it feels more immersive.
Cool.
Thankfully, because the ending was so bad, they came out with a sequel.
Nice.
Which is quite good. World War Z.
Amazing book.
Yeah, the movie has nothing to do with the book.
Fantastic.
Yes. It started out that way, but then when Max Brooks realized what direction they were trying to go, it's World War Z in name only now.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to see it.
Oh, me too.
But, no high hopes.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the book is so good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the audiobook is amazing. Have you heard it?
I haven't heard the audio.
They have like a voice like Alan Alda and Mark Hamill and
no way,
like J.K. Simmons and Adewale one of the guys from Oz. Adewale is his first name, but like it's a genuinely like star-studded cast and for an audiobook. That's amazing.
And Max Brooks also did the Zombie Survival Guide. You can't leave that out.
No, that's a cult classic. I love that book. It's
great.
So good. Did you ever hear of the book Cell by Stephen King?
No.
A pulse goes through cell phones and everyone's cell phone rings, and the people that answer it get a pulse into their brain, which turns them into violent, unthinking sort of zombies.
So like that movie Pulse.
No, because they're not ghosts, and it doesn't star Kristen Bell. But yeah, as the novel goes on, the people who have been affected by the pulse start sort of evolving. They get telepathy and a little bit of telekinesis. They start flocking like birds.
Sweet.
It sounds dumb. It sounds really stupid, I'm aware. Genuinely good book. I really enjoyed it. It's about a father and son trying to not die, and it's like Walking Dead, Rick and Carl.
Nice.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which was one of the first mashup novels.
I haven't read that.
Neither have I.
Okay.
Don't plan to, honestly. I heard it's great.
Yeah.
But I don't care enough.
No.
Sense and Sensibility.
They are making it into
Monsters.
a movie, so...
I'll watch the movie.
Me too.
And then we'll be caught up.
One thing we didn't talk about was the Walking Dead game, which apparently is amazing.
Yeah, I have it on my phone, on my computer, and I've been meaning to buy an iTunes card when I have money to get the thing on Xbox.
Yeah.
Like the one since all the episodes are out, and they are making a sequel.
Oh.
And the thing is, I've been watching a lot of Let's Play people in the last while.
Right.
I recently started watching Markiplier, which is pretty good. He does some good drunk Minecraft videos.
Nice.
Guy named Storpy, who is entertaining but a tremendous pussy. Like, oh my god. Like, okay, so let's say there's a dark hallway after he's just been scared or something. Or no, he knows he needs to go through a door. There's a blood stain there, and he's playing like an amnesia mod.
Yeah.
So he will, like, you'll see him on his camera, like, put his hands together in a praying thing and put it up to his face, and then just him staring, and then just after a while just looking at the camera and saying, I don't want to do this. And he's such a fucking coward, but at the same time...
That's probably part of his persona, though, right? That's how you get viewers.
He can be really funny. So as much as he frustrates me, like, it is worth going... Like, there are videos where I will skip minutes because nothing is happening.
He's just staring at the camera aimlessly.
He's just a bitch.
Nice.
And there's the one that I watch the most, and I'll probably get some flack for this, would probably be PewDiePie, who's a Swedish guy... knows English. Swedish guy, lives in Italy, plays these videos, and he is an absolute moron. I know English isn't his first language, but he can't really read.
Okay.
And he doesn't read a lot of the stuff that has critical elements that will tell him how to solve a puzzle, and he'll just be like, this probably isn't important. And so I'm just, oh god, so much rage, and at the same time, for all the idiocy, he can be amazingly funny. And that is all my notes. Let's get to the science.
All your notes, okay. So according to Cracked, I'm just reading their science. So there are these crazy brain parasites, which apparently half the population is infected with. And it causes a slight change in personality, makes you take bigger risks, can make you insane.
But it's not often that it makes you insane.
No.
Usually it's just like you speed faster. You're more likely to bungee jump. Like,
yes.
Weird, tiny little things.
Yes, but still pretty terrifying.
Yeah. It starts in rats and mice, which attracts them to cats, which then get infected when they eat the rats and mice, and somehow gets to people. I don't know how many people are eating cats. I could make a racist joke right now, and I very closely did.
So many things.
Anyways, yeah.
The second thing they talk about is neurotoxins, which we've kind of covered. The blowfish poison, which makes you paralyzed. If you have a shitty doctor, they won't be able to tell that you're alive or not.
And there's like snakes that have that same type of thing.
And they'll bury you alive, and you'll kind of claw your way out.
Well, probably
maybe
not.
Well, it depends. If you're in an impoverished country, they just kind of bury you in a shallow grave.
Or if your family's very poor, because there are such things as cardboard coffins.
Really?
I've seen them.
That's terrifying.
They are strong enough to hold a body. You don't want to take them out when it rains. You need to schedule your funeral properly. It's thick cardboard, but at the same time, like...
That's disgusting.
If you're ever buried alive, always get a cardboard coffin, because you totally have that.
If I plan on getting buried alive, I'll think either that or a shallow grave. I'm fine with that, Put a pocket knife in my... Yeah, we're good.
No coffin, just a ditch.
Bury me under a tree somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways. So anyway, there's like mad cow in humans, which is we've talked about. That's like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. The symptoms: you start twitching, you have severe hallucinations, lack of coordination. You want to walk, which is very zombie-like.
That's odd.
Yeah, and it gives you dementia, so you don't know where you are. You can become enraged really quickly.
Yeah.
Still no human flesh wanting to eat, but you're pretty much a zombie at that point. You're angry. You want to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
There's something called neurogenesis, which they've been working on. They're working on ways to regrow brain tissue.
Yeah.
I didn't read a lot of the article, so I have not a lot of information on this, but it sounds awesome, so check out Crack.
Look up neurogenesis. We've helped you in that much.
There's nanobots, which are terrifying and can control you by connecting your synapses.
Yeah. Ugh, that's an unpleasant thought.
Yes.
According to conspiracy theorists, has probably been in effect since the 80s. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
But... yeah. What else you got there?
The last thing I put myself, it's these new drugs called bath salts.
Did you know that everyone knows about the bath salts thing where the guy ate the other dude's face?
Yes.
They did the blood screening and they found bath salts, and then they actually did a bit more in-depth thing, and they found out the only thing in his blood at the time, marijuana.
Huh.
He was just stoned and crazy. And everyone that was just
You get the munchies.
Yeah.
The guy's face looked edible.
Yeah, he was a homeless man. He's been in the sun a lot. Maybe he looked like a Dorito. Yeah, it's... Their bath salts, I'm not saying that makes them harmless. They are very dangerous.
Yes.
Don't do them.
Ever.
Ever, no. And,
especially after smoking a joint.
yeah, but there are weird news stories every now and then. I read about one, and this is a true, it was in papers, and they never... A fishing boat saw this body floating in the water, and they fished it out, and then, as they were standing around it and trying to wake it up, it regained consciousness, attacked one of them, and bit one of them.
What?
They threw him back into the water, and that happened. And this was in the middle of the probably not the middle of the ocean, but it was in deep water. The guy was dead. They checked his pulse and everything. You could say maybe he had just been dunked into the water,
right.
had sort of drowned, and then they just getting him out of the water he might have just not drowning, but was cold.
Right.
Regains consciousness, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know who these people are, lashes out, hungry, bites a dude.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, there are weird actual zombie news things that happen.
Pulls a life of pie, just has to eat someone.
Yeah. I never saw that, and I really wish I did.
Oh, man.
Never read the book.
Movie, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
I hear it's very beautiful. Just from the trailer, it looks stunning.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We're about the end of our time. Yeah, couldn't get to all of it.
Well, I covered pretty much everything here.
Yeah, all right. Final thoughts. Even though Evil Dead isn't a zombie movie, if you haven't seen it, you should. You should especially see the remake, because that movie looks fucked up.
It looks amazing.
It looks genuinely scary.
Yes.
And that's so rare in horror movies.
It's also crazy for the Evil Dead series, because none of them are scary.
Yeah, they're unsettling occasionally. For the most part, the first one I think is unsettling.
Yes, the second one
is amazing.
Yes. It's basically a remake of the first one, except funny.
Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi say it is a direct sequel from the first one, which is a blatant lie.
Yes. Because why would you go back there?
Yeah, and the exact same things are happening.
Yeah.
The exact same fucking things.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything else you think that we should mention?
The only other game that I had written down that we didn't talk about was Silent Hill. There's undead weird creatures in it, but they're not really zombies.
No, I always figured them as being monsters, really.
Yeah, and the movie franchise completely ruined that series for me.
Yeah, I don't mind the first one. I want to see the second.
Because of Sean Bean.
Because he didn't die in that movie.
Yeah.
I read something. He has died in over 20 movies.
I think it's the only film he hasn't died in.
That's very, very possible. This has been Geektionary, and this has been the first season. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
And I will talk to you, listeners, at a later date.